In this video, we're going to discuss how you take a test in MyMathLab Plus. Now, remember that all tests must be taken at the Student Assessment Center on either the airport or the Beltline campus. Remember, no campus is open to take tests on Sunday and Monday, but the Beltline campus is the only campus where you can take a test on Saturday. In order to take a test, all right, you're going to go to the front desk of the Student Assessment Center, have your photo ID, tell them you want to take Mr. Pompey's Math 102, section I-04, and give them the test name, all right? Before you go there, make sure you know the test name so it'll make it an easier process. But what you want to do is you want to go to MyMathLab Quizzes and Tests, the same place where you go to take your quizzes. These are the names of your test. Of course, you're going to have to log in. It's an online test, so you'll be able to pick the test that you're going to be taking. But remember, you do still have your prerequisites, meaning you have to complete homework assignments before you take your test. I've already done the stuff for test 1. Again, this page gives you the due date. For instance, test 1, which is on chapter 8, is due on February 2nd, 2013 at 11:59 p.m. Please note that 11:59 p.m. is there for me, not for you guys. Of course, you're going to have to take the test in the Student Assessment Center. Therefore, whatever time they close, that's when your test is due on February 2nd, 2013. It's just set up in the system like this, all right? So kind of ignore this time and stick to the schedule that you see at the Student Assessment Center. You also have your time limits. Some tests are a little bit longer. For instance, this first test is a little bit longer, so I give you a lot more time. 150 minutes, which is 2.5 hours. I don't expect anyone to take 2.5 hours, but if you need it, you do have that available. For all of your tests, you only get one try. There is no redoing a test like you can redo a quiz. And so this is kind of the final test, the final assessment, so that I can know if you learned the material or if you haven't. But once you're ready to take the test, all right, you're going to log in the computer, get in MyMathLab Plus. You're going to pick the test that you want to take. And then this screen is going to come up for a staff member of the Student Assessment Center to enter a password. So you get the person, you get them to enter the password. And once they enter the password, you should click OK. And after that, the test is pretty much ready, all right? Again, it gives you the characteristics because you don't want to take the wrong test, right? Test 1, 25 questions, is due on February 2nd, 2013 when the testing center closes, so we're going to ignore that part. Tells us again how much time we have. We have one try to do this. It reminds us that this test is a prerequisite to going on to the next chapter, which is chapter 7, section 7.1. And again, if you want to do a tutorial on how you enter your answers, you can click this before you even start the test. But once you are ready to start the test, click I am ready to start. And you can begin the test. All right, it's very similar to quizzes. You can go to the next question, you can come back, stuff like that. But when you're done, and again, just like quizzes, you see your remaining times. But when you're done, you can click Submit Test. It says if you had to answer some questions, it's going to give you a reminder. But if you want to submit, go to say yes. And after you submit your test, it's just going to tell you what problems you got wrong. So there's no reviewing your test until after the date that the tests are due. All right. And you can go to results, and this will take you to the page where you have all of your assignments. So any assignment that you've done before, it'll take you back to that page. All right. While you're taking a test, do not stop. You can't stop the test and come back. Also, you don't want to open any other applications, even within MyMathLab Plus. So say I was trying to take a test, and I for some reason, I thought that I would be able to go to my homework and see some of my old homework, or go to another website while I'm taking the test. Well, that's not allowed. If you do that, what's going to happen is MyMathLab Plus is going to close your test out. They're going to submit it, so your first attempt is gone, and you don't have any other attempts. And it's going to lock everything, all of your other assignments up in the future until I come back in and I open them up for you. So while you're taking the test, just take the test. Don't even try to use an application. You know, the computers all have calculators or whatever. Don't even try to use that, because what's going to happen, My Math Labs Plus may lock you out of your test, and you may not be able to get back in to take your test or do any future assignments until I am informed by My Math Labs Plus. So once again, it's very important. Only take your test. Your browser is going to be locked down, and so that means that you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to do anything anyway. All right. If you have any questions or issues taking a test, I know it's in the testing center, and so make sure you let me know if there's any issues, because if you're having that issue, it means that somebody else probably is also having that issue. And this is basically how you're going to go about taking tests. Your final exam, if you notice here, final exam is not on this list. Your final exam is actually going to be a paper test, and it will be multiple choice. It is a departmental final exam, and so it'll be a multiple choice paper test. All right, and that concludes our video.